It was announced that after the State of the Union address, President Obama will be sitting down with three major YouTube celebrities, those people being Bethany Mota, GloZell Green, and Hank Green. Now, it's interesting that he snubbed the number one network in news and politics, that, of course, being the network I'm a part of, the TYT network. The Young Turks, the main show, is the biggest by far when it comes to news and politics, no matter how you measure it, by views, the social blade rankings, which are more comprehensive. They have this really detailed formula of how they do it. They have them at number one strongly, and in fact, they had an A+ ranking for a very long time. I think now it's an A. They dropped it. I'm not sure why, but it was an A+ ranking for a very long time. So in other words, they're perfect YouTubers. How they structure the viewing experience when they upload their videos, how much content they put out, how many views and likes, and all that stuff. They run shit, basically. But they got snubbed, and they're replaced by people who take the fucking cinnamon challenge. Wonderful. And by the way, nothing against those people. I'm just being a dick here. If you can't tell, I'm a little bit bitter about this, but they do their thing, and I have nothing against those people. But I wonder why Obama pick those people as opposed to picking TYT. Could it be because TYT is going to ask real questions? Cenk would ask serious questions, real questions, and it would be a tough interview, probably one of the tougher interviews Obama's ever had. So they decided, fuck it. Let's go on one of these entertainment channels and have fun with it. So CNN thought it'd be cute to discuss this at the White House press conference. Let's listen.
I know you announced before the briefing that the president is going to be doing these YouTube interviews, or a YouTube interview with several different people after the State of the Union address. And just noticing that these folks who are going to be conducting these interviews are not professional journalists. They're videos on YouTube, and I'm just curious, was Charlie Bit My Finger or David After Dennis not available? Or
I'm not familiar.
I love that clip. She's like, the guy thinks he's like being smart and funny, and he's like, well, I don't understand what you're saying. Fail. Joke fail. See, this is why you're not a comedian. Stay out of that business, buddy. But this is what they think of. This is what old media thinks of when they think of YouTube. They think of like little viral videos. The viral videos, honestly, are like a small part of what YouTube is now. YouTube, in many ways, is more popular than old media. There are followers of certain channels on YouTube. It's almost like a religious following. Not my listeners. My listeners are awesome and way too smart for that. You guys tell me to shut the fuck up when I'm wrong about anything, and I love you for that, by the way. But, I mean, go look at any of the big-time channels, PewDiePie, or go look at, there's so many makeup channels that are absolutely gigantic. I mean, news and politics is somewhat small for a broad category on YouTube. But this is a new medium of entertainment that's starting to kick the ass of old media. But look at these fucking dinosaurs totally oblivious to it. So oblivious. It's like, what you couldn't talk to the guy who Charlie Bit My Finger video? Remember that video? That was cute. I like that video. But that's what YouTube is, right? It's just stuff like that, right? Keep laughing, man. You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of, like, people in the Morse code industry laughing the first time they heard about the telephone, right? Like, and you have to dial something with numbers, and then you talk, and it's such not a good way of communication. It's better to press the buttons multiple times and spread your message that way. Well, how did that work out for you? Or the horse and buggy or horse and carriage industry, whatever the fuck it was, when the car came along. Like, oh, really? It's called an engine, the thing you put in, and you press a pedal? Good old reliable horses are better. The horse is like farting off screen. Ignore the horse flatulence, but horses and buggies are better than cars. What are you talking about? You're crazy, man, if you disagree with that. How'd that work out? Or it's like AM radio, or radio in general, when the TV came along, right? They're like, oh, no, radio's going to be the number one form of entertainment for the longest time. This thing with pictures on a box and the things move, It's such a weird way of seeing things as they're talking. It's strange. Like, it's better to just hear it, right? It's simpler. It's more pure. How'd that work out? This is what I hear when I hear these jackasses saying what they're saying. They're so arrogant. They think they're going to be on top forever. You know? I was tweeting about this earlier, man. You could go back and look. We did an entire segment about this because even I was amazed by it. But Mediaite had the numbers one time. They have the numbers all the time, but there was one time Wolf Blitzer hit like historic lows. I forget exactly what his numbers were, but I broke it down for everybody, and I said, okay, look, here are his numbers. Here's the key demographic, which is all that they look at. That's all that really matters is when, what is it, 25 to 54, I think the key demo is. And the reason why that's the only thing that matters is that's who buys most of the stuff. So that's all the advertisers care about when they buy ad space. So I broke down all his numbers. I gave you Wolf Blitzer's demo number, and then I went to my numbers. When Wolf is having a bad day, I beat him. My little rinky-dink nothing YouTube channel beats him. Now you could say, well, it's an apples to oranges comparison, and it is in a way, but there is no way to do an apples to apples comparison because what we're doing is we're calculating my show for a full day, right? So my channel for a full day versus him during the 2 hours that he's on the air. But when you do that comparison, I beat him. And at this point, I probably beat him often. I have an advertising budget of $0.00. You know what the cost is to do this show in terms of production cost? It's the camera that I'm talking into right now and the microphone that I'm talking into right now. And the sound recorder. That's it. About $1,000 in total to set it all. And I'm beating CNN, which has roughly $8 quadrillion behind it. What does that show you? It shows you that quality of product is what matters. And the old media, they're just lazy. They're lazy. YouTube is a real free market. True capitalists, true conservatives should love YouTube because you're only going to get clicks if you're doing something that people like. Whereas on CNN, mediocrity is what they want. They put mediocrity on a platform. Now, why? Because they don't want to shake the boat too much. They don't want to threaten the establishment and the elite too much. So they put up people who are rather vanilla, like Anderson Cooper, who almost looks like he's literally vanilla with his white hair and his skin and stuff. Was that too far? Was I being a dick there? Or Wolf Blitzer, who's a robot. He's actually not a human being. He has no pulse. It's been proven. I wouldn't be surprised if that were true, but obviously I'm joking. So if you take one of those guys and you put them on YouTube, Aaron Burnett, Piers Morgan, he's gone already, Don Lemon, they would get absolutely no viewers because they don't have appeal in and of themselves. They've just been pushed into this gigantic machine which already has name recognition and is already established and already carries that, the aura about it of, well, that's CNN, right? They were great in 1989. Well, they're really not anymore. So, I mean, you guys keep laughing and we'll just start kicking your ass because the most important thing in this discussion is when you look at new media, you know what you find? People who aren't afraid to be genuine